Otherwise, you should just by default expect like new patch content. At least we can say that for like RSL, for Open Cups, for Home Story Cup as well, for Doyo Cup. But here we go. Here we go, spawning in the top right hand corner of Fear and Faith. We have the blue Protoss player. We have the South Green Protoss representing onside. It is Zoun. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Terran player. The red Terran, the South Green Terran for Team Liquid. It is Cure. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. I do apologize. I don't think I actually opened predictions last series, so I do apologize for that. I think that was a bit of an oversight. I was maybe just a little bit too engrossed in the games themselves, but predictions are open, so you can place your bets on who you think will make it through, Zoun or Cure. Now, once again, coming into this, it's going to be a harder one to call. First things first, welcome to Fear and Faith, a map that we did not see in the previous series, but a 4-player spawn map nonetheless. And as you can see here on the right-hand side, we have the monorail system here connecting every corner of the map. So you can see here, you can spawn in bottom right, bottom left, and top right as well. And again, every corner is connected by these tubing systems, by this monorail system. You can see it here as well. And what can fit inside them? Only workers. Only workers can fit inside, and it's a way to speed up worker scouting. It's the solution, or it's the attempted solution here to worker scouting and to trying to find your opponents. Zoun just went through it, by the way. Just went through it, and Zoun does find Cure immediately. It also means that if you try to wall this area off, like Zoun, he can still get away. Potentially. Oh. As he does skirt around the edge. Can he make it back? Can he? Oh my god. Yeah, there's your deception. And Zoun does get back inside the tube. Ah. Oh, he's being chased though. Yes, you're not getting away, Pappy. You're not getting away. But you can see it now come into play here. So again, this is just a way to speed up some scouting, to reduce some of the RNG nature of 4-player spawn maps. And you can wall this off, by the way. With like a pylon or a depot, you can wall this off. We can see the counter scout. True. Scary gets in. Confirms the opener. This also does alleviate some scouting just because there's no Reaper Cliff. So very quickly here, as you can see, there's no Reaper Cliff to get into the main base, so scouting from Terran can be a little bit more difficult. You are more reliant on the SCV just because the Reaper has to go through the natural to get into the main base, whereas on other maps there's usually like an alternate route into the main. Here on Fear and Faith, the main base is very secure. Sound does move out. Behind this, there's a Rax Expand economic opener at a Cure going for a faster factory. So far, nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. Meanwhile, Zoun opening up Twilight Council. I'm curious if the players are watching the previous game, and I'm curious to see if Zoun has his own approach to TVP as well. Whether he's made any adjustments himself. As we have a second SCV scout coming in. True, you can also park your worker inside the tubing system. You can. Technically, there's a world where if there's like some harass going on, you can run the workers away and hide them in here, I guess. Like in a very niche situation like that. Like they would be safe in there. True. Relatively safe. As Stalker Adept does poke away at the wall here, catching a Marine. I think killing one SCV. Yeah, killing one SCV. Predictions where? Ah, they've closed. Oof. Yeah, as again, so far we're getting quite a bit of damage done already here right now, but the Cyclone has arrived and now Cure will hold. Again, we're just waiting for a Cyclone. Does wall off in time. Did end up losing 3 SCVs, so a nice start here for Zoun to pick up a couple of workers. And back at home, how many gateways do we have? As this time, Zoun is embracing Warp Gate. We saw the trigger. I don't think he warped in a single warp gate the entire series, actually, funny enough. But here, very fast warp gates out of Zoun, getting into a 3-gate blink. This is a very standard build. Sorry, I say standard. This is a very, like, a very previous old patch. There we go. That's a bit. This is a very old patch build, going 3-gate blink into the warp prison to be more aggressive across the map. I don't know how I like this, to be honest. I did just mention that, in general, the layout here for the 2 bases is a little bit more secure for the Terran. I don't really know how much damage Zoun can really find, but he's going for it. So an aggressive variation of 3 gates. Does move out. We'll apply pressure and we'll see what he can get done. As Zoun is taking a much more aggressive approach. And again, a very old patch build. So here it comes down. Same time, Cure going for his own drop. Cure, he has a safety bunker back at home, but he doesn't have everything to defend. He's going to have 1 tank in the bunker, a couple of bio units, half his army across the map with the Cyclone as well. And we'll see what Zoun can get done. Warping more Stalkers. Does warp in, adapts, they do threaten the shade. We're diving in the bunker. And there we go, 1 bunker will go down. Late repair. Yeah, late repairs here. The bunker does full. There's still 1 tank shelling away at the army. But Stalkers are gaining ground. They will break through. There we go. Another tank falls. Massive pickoff. Ay, ay, ay. Marines, they try to hold their own at the same time. Does drop across the map. Probes are going down. Yeah, 6 probe kills. Zoun tries to keep going, but massive pickoff. Stalkers are falling. Yeah, so many Stalker losses. And Cure, can he hold on? Can he hold that? The stutter stepping. He's trying. Yeah, losing 17 SCVs to the 12 probe kills across the map. Drop is still being active. Cloak Banshee into the main base. More probes are falling, and this is getting out of hand. The chaos, Pappy. The chaos ensues. 20 probe kills. Cure picks up, pulls away. Still more damage in the main base. So there's an observer coming. And the observer's here. Yeah, the observer has arrived. That's still 23 probe kills. Zoun trying to go back in. A second Banshee moves out. Drop is still being active. Zoun commits. And he tries to get into the main base, but again, he's down to 4 Stalkers. He cannot warp in. Not like this, Pappy. But we're forced to pull the boys. Only 3 Marines down to 1. Yeah, 1 Marine left. Nice tank shot. Ooh, drop is cleaned up. Banshee into the main. 2 more probes. And Zoun holds. Zoun does hold on, does catch the final Banshee as well. And as it settles, where exactly are we? Cure doesn't really have much of a presence to really push across the map, so he's stuck at home here with his tank, with his bio army. We do see Zoun, he will continue warp-ins. He's not done. He's not stopping. He's also not saturated. Yeah, he's still committing across. I'm making some probes behind this. But here we go, he'll reinforce with his entire army. We just see Cure does rebuild his SimCity, rebuilds the wall. Now up to a 2nd tank. And he's built up to 2. Zoun blinks in. Okay, does blink in, barely out of vision, barely out of range of the tank. Prison towards the main base. Oh, barely out of vision of the production, actually. That's crazy. That's crazy. Zoun gets into the mineral line. He gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 SCVs. Zoun gets away. Very nice damage. Ambient is committing. Sorry, Cure. Cure is committing. Rallying everything kind of across the map. He sustained quite a lot of damage here, but his main army is looking quite terrifying. Has a lot of Marauders. Of course, has Stim, Combat Shields. +1 is almost done. For a moment, I thought we were going to pull the boys. But does rally everything across. And behind this, remember, there's no splash damage, and there is no charge either. Charge has been heavily delayed because of all the economic losses and because of all the Blink Stalkers as well. Can Zoun hold? Can he hold on? We got slow lots. Stalkers, they catch reinforcements. Marines getting picked up. Ooh, blinks into Marauders, but nice control out of Zoun. It does pick up. But there's just so much bio here. Breaking through the front door. The gateway will fall. within range of the battery. There are force fields available. Does knock down half the army. We just fight. We just stand and fight. Charge is now done. Diving on one of the tanks. He'll get at least one. He will get both. Yeah, both tanks will go down. Big surround here from Zoun. Resets the tank count. But there's still a lot of bio left over. And not much buffer. Heavy overstim here. We stim in. The army is so low. It's so low for Cure. Down to 3 Marauders. Down to 4 Marines. Barely a standing army. And Zoun is holding. Zoun is barely holding on here. I say that with more reinforcements. Cure is overwhelming. GG. GG gets called. Keeps on rallying across map and barely has enough. Cure takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Curie does take a lead in the series. Once again here, very intense game. Zoun was hyper aggressive with his 3 Gaebling Stalkers, and things got very messy. Things got very, very messy. We had the Banshee harass, we had the drop play as well. Was it 24 probe kills? Like 24 probes went down, meanwhile 17 SCVs, so there was just, everything was catching fire. In the end, Cure committed on 2 bases. I thought it was going to pull the boys, regardless, 2 base all in out of Cure, and we saw that because Zoun was so invested into the Blink Stalker aggression, again, charge was delayed, and he kind of splash damage or higher tech units were delayed just because of not just his commitment but also losing all those workers earlier as well. So had a bit of a rough defense there from Zoun. Had some nice moments with force fields and he was trying to engage ahead of time as well, but his army was still very vulnerable to those Marauders, was very stalker heavy, and we saw in the end barely didn't have enough. It was close, came down to a handful of units, didn't have enough. GG. GG, well played. With that, Cure does claim a lead in the series, and we'll see if Zoun can recover and bounce back as we go from one 4-player spawn map to the other. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Spawning in the bottom corner of the Old Sun Temple, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss player himself, down in the series. Can he bounce back and make a series out of this? Representing on side, it is Zoun. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the red Terran player, the red Terran himself, the South Korean Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Let's go. Let us go. We are settling into our game here. We're settling into our series. Welcome to Old Sun Temple, where unlike the previous best of 5, this time we have close spawns. We have close spawns here. Cure bottom right, Zoun bottom left. We could spawn in any corner of the map, and last time we had a series here. We had a cross spawn, a diagonal spawn location, and we embraced a longer and later game. Here we could embrace something a little bit shorter instead, as aggression can be more favored with these closer by air and by ground spawn locations. First things first, scouting. So Zoun, he is going to be checking the top side of the map. And we'll see if we can find each other. Once again, when it comes to the Old Sun Temple, unlike Fear and Faith and Exarch, there is no like monorail system, there are no aqueducts, there's no tubing system to connect all the bases. Instead, we have speed zones, right? We have speed zones in the center, which allow for faster scouting. If you recall, in the Beyond vs. Trigger series, this also allowed for some very dynamic engagements in the center of the map as well, due to how centralized this location is. Oh. So here we go. Zoun, he will check the bottom right hand corner. And we'll eventually find Cure. We'll find him. Oh. As Cure does go for a single gas opener, racks expand. Economic start here by our Terran player. And now we can settle in. When it comes to the map itself here, now that Zoun is aware of Cure's spawn location, we should be seeing a bit of a safer build. I say safer build based on what we just saw previously. Zoun, he might just want to be the aggressor. Like, his solution here to current TVP might just be to be hyper aggressive and try to end the game early before things get too out of hand. We'll see if that trend continues. Zoun's playing a version of this, of his pre-patch style. I mean, kind of, like, bearing in mind as well that because the patch is so new, different players will have different levels of experience on the new patch. I think an example of that is Hero infamously last week was playing in some was when he was playing in the GSL-CK, he had like 1 or 2 games of practice on the PTR, but the reasoning for this, it's a little bit different I guess for Hero, because he was playing in MOG, right? He was playing in Masters of the game, so someone like Hero had very little and very limited experience on the PTR and on the new version, because he was preparing for a big offline event. I mean, hey, it paid off. Like he did very well in it, right? But I'm sure there's some players that are like that were a little bit tentative to practice too much on the PTR because they wouldn't know what changes and what doesn't, and what goes through and what doesn't. And it's been like a week, if that we've been live with the new version of the game. So you know, there's some teething issues. There's going to be like a growth period, or like a period of discovery and acceptance. What are the stages of like loss? What are they? We're gonna grieve, then you gotta accept, then you're gonna move on, you know. Like, we'll get there, we'll get there. As Kira does move out. With this, let's go for the initial marine drop. No Widowmine's with this, bear that in mind. He's going for the initially vanilla marine drop in towards Cloak Banshee behind this. Okay. Does move out. This is just before the battery is ready. But with the battery finishing up, Zoun should be fine. He should be able to engage. Yep, zones away. Sorry, winding it back here. It is going to be once again 3-gate blink. Same build as last game, going 3-gate blink into a robo on 2 bases. The one difference is that this time there is no Warp Prism. So this is a less aggressive variation. This is supposed to be a safer variation from Zoun. Just 3-gate blink into a robo into a 3rd. Ooh, as a Hellion does zip in. Yeah, zips into the main. Ooh, we'll lose 1 probe. Zoun setting up proxy pylons across the map. Yeah, it does warp in. Uh-oh. Zoun trying to push forward. There is 1 tank in position. He's somewhat ready. Got his bunker, got his tank, Widowmine as well to punish the blink. Uh-oh. And Zoun does take the base, but a little bit later. So a bit of a delayed expansion out of Zoun, as he did commit a little bit harder here to his Blink Stalkers. Does find a way into the main base and will delay some of the production. Catching an SCV. Gets a worker, not much more than that. Zoun is forced to be pulled away. And Zoun is going for a faster bay here. Okay, so getting into the mid game, into the early to mid game, you can see the difference between Zoun and Trigger. Trigger, he was very much so adamant about going for a very heavy gateway style, going into charge, into upgrades as well, being a little bit more gateway centric. Here we can see that we're going to be delaying charge in favor of faster Colossus instead from Zoun. Likewise, delayed forges and delayed upgrades as well. So later forges, later upgrades, later charge, earlier Colossus. So Zoun's going to try to build up his Colossus counts a little bit earlier on. There is going to be a window in time here where it's going to be a little bit more vulnerable as a result. Pre-Colossus. Just a different approach. As the Banshees do poke in. Observer's ready. And the Banshees, they don't get much done yet. And no damage yet. So far, he is getting away with it. He's building up his Colossi. Likewise, Cure is building up into his own stim timing. 3rd CC is on the way, so Cure is not being 2-base all in. He's expanding. Unlike the previous game where Cure was much more committed, this time we're getting ready for the mid game. Building on up. Cure does look to break out. Hoping to catch some stray stalkers here. we're just settling in. Zoun still does have that proxy pylon across the map, and this can be used for Zealot opens and Zealot run-bys. I spoke too soon. As it was found. Gotta be shut down. Never mind. Cure maintaining control of his side of the map, even supply blocking Zoun. Forcing out more pylons. Zoun expanding away from Cure. Does claim his 4th. And Cure will soon be active. As the upgrades are finishing, claiming his 3rd. Zoun did spot this. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. Average ladder game experience. Oh no. Not like this. But yes, yes. Zoun has got to work through his stages of grief. He'll get there, he'll get there. Smurge. Now I assumed that we were going to start to be active once that Cure claimed his 3rd, but no, we're turtling up. We're setting up sensor towers, bunkers. We're fully just turtling up here on 3 bases. We did mention this in the Beyond vs. Trigger series, but now we can talk about it a little bit more here instead. But specifically on the Old Sun Temple, it's 4 probe kills across the map. But specifically on this map, compared to Fear and Faith and compared to Exarch, it is very defendable on 4 and 5 bases. We spoke about it earlier, but here there's no harassing option towards the south side. There's only one main attack path. In the center, we have a very narrow ramp coming into the natural, and the other side, once again, we do have a walled off location, and we have the high ground ramp coming in towards the high ground base. So basically there's just 2 locations, this location here and this location here. 2 locations that defend 4 bases, and then you can take the northern 5th base as well. So the idea of turtling up here does make a little more sense, and it looks like that's the approach that Cure is taking. As I would say, the map itself does strengthen defensive play compared to the other 4+1 maps. But here we go. Zoun is trying to be active. Okay, be careful. As Zoun, he's ready with the Zealot drop into the main, and Zealot run by on the top side as well. Cure will now expand. And we'll see if Zoun can find a way in. Second Robo's on the way, Storm as well. There are turrets and Marines in position in the main, so Cure, he's ready for the drop. Does find the Zealots. And Zoun it's looking like he's embracing this late game and just taking more bases. So 5th base on the way. We'll start to take more of the map. Zoun looking for another way in. Cure does have some units in position and does spot this. Does respond. Ooh, Prism gets shut down, and nice pick up here by Cure. Catching out the Prism. Planetary's now done. And Zoun cannot find a way in. Not like this. Not like this. Meanwhile, Cure at this stage is most likely going to turtle up until he gets into Liberators. We have the Fusion Core on the way, that's for Liberator range, into Ghosts, into Vikings, into Liberators, into just turtling up. Now that Cure has a 4th base up and running, which is easier to take on this map, that means he can max out. Cure can max out and refine his composition. As I mentioned before, this northern base should be the upcoming 5th base. We can see Zoun throwing down pylons to delay and to get vision. Technically, Cure could try to expand towards Zoun, I suppose. We'll see. We'll see how he does expand. We're going to be here for a while. We're going to... But again, that's just the nature of this map instead. This might even be the most defensive map in the current map pool. I'd have to double check. But I think it is. Yeah. As we have 5 more CCs on the way. Let's go. That's going to be for the orbitals, second starports, mass Viking production, +1 air attack is on the way. So Zoun, we spoke earlier when someone posed the question of like late game transition for PvT. We did mention how Tempest, that's usually the go-to as we do link in. Yeah, it does go for the dive, does take some massive mind shots to the face. But Cure's out of position. Cure's out of position, he's racing on over. There was an opening. Nice damage here by Zoun. He commits. Yeah, does warp in, does commit, does try to end the game before we enter like a half-hour game. I don't want to be stuck here all day, Pappy. Let's go. Take out the storms. Oh, brutal EMP. Yeah, EMPs connect. No storm. We mentioned this earlier. Someone was asking about storm in late game TVP, and storm and high tempo and storm, they do fall off. I mean, EMPs are pretty good. Oh, nice catch. Stops the chase. Disruptor production has begun. Zoun, he's refining his army. Again, switching into disruptors and thinking about said Tempest and Skytroll's transition. Thinking about it. Cure moves in. As Cure, he does overextend a little bit here. He's got a lot of supply stuck here in Vikings. He does have that dead supply. Has to blow away, has to respect those disruptors. Massive warp-ins. Cure backs up, claiming his 5th base. And again, Zoun has all of top left. Has all these bases up and running, rotates over, and can Zoun deny the 5th? Yeah, Cure defending with half his army, no liberators, no siege units. Cure's getting caught out, and Zoun will overwhelm. Yeah, the CC is going to fall. Speaking of, yeah, it does get focused down. Cure trying to come in from behind. Going for the flank. Nova's going up. Ooh, does connect. Yeah, some brutal connections here. Marauders get softened up once again. Another Zealot army on the south side as well, and Cure is being broken. He's being torn apart. Cure's too spread thin. He did not reach Mass Liberator. He didn't get there. Gasito, almost. But not quite. And with that, Zoun is out trading. He's out trading. Catching up more tanks. Picking up more Marauders. Here comes a fleet beacon. And we're making 3 Colossus at a time. So back in the Colossus, I feel like the Viking count is still quite high. No, only 4. Okay, only 4 Vikings. So there's an opening for Colossus. And again, Cure, he almost got there. Like, he almost was able to stabilize and secure his 4-base setup, but in the end, he was broken. There was an opening. Zoun, once he saw, he just went straight for it. And now Cure cannot get a 5th. Cannot get a 5th base. It looks like he's trying to expand with his army. Taking the southern 5th base instead. Zoun is in position. This is also where if we had diagonal spawns, like we could see Cure taking a 5th base much more easier here, but Zoun is right next door. Like what? Yeah, kill the CC. Cure cannot expand. Not like this. Oof. Picking up 2 straight Liberators. Massive pickups. Zoun taking more bases. Oh! Ooh, Nova doesn't connect. Barely not. Prism doesn't quite get in. And again, Cure might be maxed out, but he's maxed out with mainly Marine Marauder, right? It's a very heavy Marine composition. We need more Liberators, we need more Vikings. We're up to only 4 Vikings against 3 Colossus. Oof. Losing a Viking. Yeah, Viking goes down. CC as well. Massive pickoff. A little bit ambitious here with these Stalkers. Some expensive losses here. Stalkers being thrown away. being thrown away. We can see Cure, he wants to be active, he wants to do some kind of counter damage, so he wants to force Zoun back home. There is potential. As Cure does catch a mineral line, not bad. 10 probes. 10 transfer workers. There's no defensive weapon yet. Oh my god, that's a lot of DTs. Never mind. That's a lot of DTs. They're coming to defend. Do EMP. Their bases are falling. Zoun rotates towards the third base, and now we have Mass Liberator. Okay, we have the liberation zones. We have the freedom. We have the freedom, Pappy. Cure. He's getting there. Takes down a free base. 26 probe kills. DTs they rotate, but again, liberation has arrived. All these DTs will be thrown away. Yeah, they all get thrown away. Rough losses here for Zoun. There's a recall back home. Zoun he defends top left, but these were some heavy losses for Zoun. Throwing away all the Dark Templar, losing a mineral line, 29 SCV kills. Sorry, 29 probe kills. We're getting messy. We're getting messy. Oh! Oh my god, the Medivacs! Can we get away? Barely does pull away. Blink is almost off cooldown. There we go. Ooh, blinks in. Gets one. Gets two. All three. Yeah, all three Medivacs. Heavy losses. You're losing all the ghosts as well. Oof. Rough losses for Cure. Cure, he plummets in supply. Zoun is coming. He's coming, Pappy. If the drop got away, then Zoun would be kept busy. But Zoun is done defending. Now breaking out across the map. Now pushing towards the expand. Oh. And we'll get the planetary. Yeah, planetary should go down. Massive pickup. Cure's trying to keep up. Does get one of the Colossus. Does get two. Two Colossus go down. Cure, he will re-expand. And what's keeping Cure alive in this game here is that Cure, he has so few SCVs. He's down to 37 SCVs, but he does have a super maxed army. But he still can't quite keep up. Not like this. He can't afford this. Losing 3 more Liberators. Yeah, some brutal losses. Zoun is not stopping. Going back in. Pushing on the top and southern side. He's pushing in back. Ooh. Swing forward. Blinks forward, catching a Liberator. Zoun moving further in. It does move in, catching out another Liberator as well. Again, some brutal losses here for Cure. Expensive losses. Remember, Zoun has a bank. Cure's making 6 Liberators at a time. Jesus. They're coming. Nice snipe. Does catch a Disruptor. And does trade well with these Stalkers. Zoun overextends. Yeah, Zoun overextends. Instead, he rotates over towards the third. Does find an opening. Once again, we saw this opening before. Catching out 1, 2 Liberators. Do we get 3? Yeah, 3. 3. Oh god, but so many Stalkers go down as well. Yeah, Zoun is getting messy. It's getting messy here. Zoun throwing away a bunch of supply. Doesn't have too much gas. Mothership is on the way. And Cure, with this fifth expansion, he can push towards the natural. He can push into the production. Uh-oh. Zoun's out of position. Zoun completely out of position here. And this natural and potentially the main base is going to go down. Zoun, what's the plan? What's the plan, Pappy? Recall? No. Nah, he's going for it. He will choose not to recall, pushing into liberation zones. Oof. Does not find a way in. Natural goes down. He will lose both robos. Yeah, both robos fall. Cure is pushing into the main base. Again, all the tech is here. EMP to make sure there's no recall. Zoun moves in. Going for the third base. Colossus goes down. Massive pickup. And Zoun could kill a CC, but that doesn't matter anywhere near as much. It does not matter. We try to have some warp-ins. Main base goes down. With enough warp-ins. There we go. There's recall. Okay, there's recall back home. And Cure, can he get out of this? Can he get out of the main? Does try to siege up. Massive blink. And Cure's trapped. Yeah, Cure is trapped. He should lose all the medevacs. There's just not enough bio here. We have more warp ins. I mean, he's trading as best he can. But he has to leave. Yeah, he has to pick up. He has to get the hell out of here. Oof. Escaping with one medevac full of units. Oh. And we're getting messy. Set up the libs. He's setting up. Yeah, sets up liberation zones. Drop back into the main. Reinforcements have arrived. Zoning the army out of the main. There is Cloak. Yeah, Cloak is available. Curie commits. He sends everything into the main base. Takes over the ramp as well. Base trade. Let's go. We're going for the base trade. Main base crumbles at the same time. Zoun, he takes down the 5th. This is the most important mining base here for Cure. True. The most important base. It's going to go down. 0 economy left for Cure. Ay, ay, ay. And remember, Zoun has top left, center, top right as well. Zoun has mining. Cure does not. And Zoun has done it. Zoun has done it. If Zoun was forced to fight into this army, different story, right? We could have seen a different outcome. Hey, the first storm of the game. First storm. Meanwhile, Zoun can just recall in. There we go. Recalls into the main base. We have a series, Pappy. We have a series. Slow zone on the army. Blinks forward. And Zanny's levels out of control. Likewise, Curie does have a pretty substantial force here, but GG. Yeah, GG gets called. Zoun, he will tie the series 1-1. We have a series. We have a back and forth. GG. Whew. GG, well played. With that, we are now tied up, and again, a very intense game here. We did notice that Zoun, things were looking a little bit dire early on, with Cure fully walling up and sieging up on 4 bases, but when Cure tried to take a 5th base, he did spread himself thin, and Zoun found that opening at the 3rd. If you remember the triangular 3rd location, Zoun found that opening, and that's where Zoun was able to break that position for the first time, and then Cure had a very, very difficult time trying to get a 5th base. He lost so many workers, so many liberators, so many Vikings. It was a very shaky mid-game there for Cure, losing far too much. We did see a really nice moment, a breakout moment when Cure dropped across the map and did some counter damage, but again, Cure, he was still struggling to maintain his own economy. At a certain point, like I want to say for 10 or so minutes, he was stuck with what? 40 SCVs? 37? It was like 37 SCVs. A very, very low worker count, low base count as well. Cure was all in at the end, and there were some nice moves, don't get me wrong, but he had no longevity in that game. In the end, Zoun did make the wise choice to not engage with the army. Just avoid it. Avoid the army. Just counterattack. Just counterattack instead. Go across the map. Knock down the mining bases. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're tied up 1-1, and now we are loading to game number 3. Going to be loading into Voidstorm. Aye, aye, aye. Voidstorm is another map that did not make it through the Team Liquid map contest process, unfortunately. I was hoping that we could see more Voidstorm in the ladder, but alas, didn't quite make it through. It is a rush map. Again, aggression is favored on Voidstorm very much, so we'll get into it. Here we go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Voidstorm, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss. We have the blue Protoss representing on side. It is Zoun. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player. We have the red Terran player himself. We have the South Korean Terran for Team Liquid. It is Cure. Let's go. Let us go. There we go. We're getting to the next game. We're getting into game number 3 here. And again, welcome to Voidstorm. Voidstorm has some very unique features. First things first, short rush distance by ground. From natural to natural, very, very short. You can just rush across the map. There are some defensive features here, like this ramp. We have some more narrow ramps that you can try to engage. Likewise, it is important that here there is some terrain that does split this section in half, so it does create 2 choke points, so you can take a better defensive position as an army does push towards your natural. But did you see something that we just panned over? Healing pad. Healing pad dead set in the center of the map of a rush map, pushing towards the bases. It is very similar on Rorschach. You could definitely argue though that the healing pad on Rorschach is still a little bit out of the way, so it's not as natural to actually utilize. But here again, it's much more central, here to the map, to the bases, and to main fights as well. So we do have that healing pad. Likewise, a low ground third, a low ground, both third bases are going to be on the low ground. They're going to be a little bit more exposed as a result of that. Again, some of the terrain here is designed to help when it comes to defensive positions, just because it is a little bit more choked up than we have seen on other maps, just to help when it comes to the shorter rush distance. Just to help. And again, this map was a part of the Team Liquid map contest, but did not make it into the ladder. Did not make it in. Did not get the votes. Unfortunately, like I was hoping that Exarch would at least make it through, and I wanted to see more Void Storm, but you know, the public didn't really vibe with it. Neither did the casters or the players. But hey, it's in RSL. Made it to RSL. See, chat, shouldn't he have carriers by now? We did mention this earlier, but if you missed it, I mean, you may have missed it. But when it comes to Skytell's transitions, they're only necessary if the Terran player successfully turtles up. So if you recall in the last game, Cure was turtling up. He was getting up to 4 bases. But when Cure tried to get a 5th base, there was an opening at the 3rd. And then when he lost that 3rd base location and when he lost all the SCVs, like it was very much so a very difficult position for Cure. Like he was like putting out fires, right? There were just fires popping up all over the place. And it was very difficult defense for Cure. Still made for a close game, but Zoun was still successfully dealing damage. So in TVP, when that stops, like when that stops happening, and when the Terran player is actually able to successfully like turtle up and defend and build up their liberators and minimize losses, that's typically when you have to make that transition into Tempest. But if that's not happening, then you can stick with a more flexible, mobile like gateway composition. It's similar to ZVT actually. Yeah, it's similar to ZVT with Lingbane Hydra, where you can stick with Lingbane Hydra for a long time if you're knocking down Terran bases, but the moment that like the Terran player successfully starts defending and turtling up, then you typically have to switch into like Broodlord Infestor. But it's only after like the aggression is subsiding and it stopped working. For now though. For now, we do have our economic opener into our 1-1-1 follow-up here by Cure. Reapers did commit into additional Reapers this time, getting behind the mineral line. Breaks in. And doesn't get much done. Yeah, further into the main base, we do have a battery red setup. Sorry, this might have been a double gas opener. My apologies, I may have missed that. Yeah, it was double gas. So double gas opening here, but the batteries are in position, and Zoun, he will defend. Zoun, I would imagine he did scouts, and he saw the earlier factory. With that, he did set up in time, battery in both mineral lines, so he's safe and sound. So far, better start for Zoun, as the Reaper Hellion has failed to really get much done. Does heal up at the healing pad. Pulls away behind the setting up for the mine drop. And the drop is coming. Meanwhile, we got Fear and Faith in the top spot. I'll be honest. I said this when we went over the maps during the podcast, Stego. I can't believe I find it shocking that Fear and Faith and Washout got as high standing as they did in the public voting. Like that's crazy. Like I don't know what happened. That's insane. As we do have our mine drop into the main. Catching out one probe. Yeah, so far just catching out one. A nice defense here by Zoun. Behind this did it go for, was it 3? Yep, 3-gate blink. 3-gate blink, same opener. Same opener every game so far. 3-gate blink into the robo, into a delayed 3rd base. Same build, same opener every game so far out of Zoun. This is now claiming that 3rd. I say same build, same opener, that is true, but the follow-up is a little bit different this time. If you recall, last game we did see a faster tech into Colossus. This time, charge is going to be prioritized. I do like this considering how small the map is. So earlier charge out of Zoun. Followed by the Bay. Still, in the grand scheme of things, is going to be going into faster Colossus. Later than last game, but still getting there. Meanwhile, Cure is still amassing. Stim is on the way. Combat shields as well. We'll see how dedicated Cure is going to be when it comes to his push. As again, we're expecting something more committed and dedicated here out of Cure. I was flabbergasted, but it's not the first time the community votes has surprised me. Yeah, yeah. This is crazy. I mean, it's just different audiences, right? Like, different audiences, different perspectives. Oh. Secure does break out. Does break out again. Still waiting for his upgrade. Still waiting for Stim. Combat shields. Oh, darling, let's go. Do you hear the pulse? I think that's new. The audio. As one Stalker is going to get caught out at the same time, drops here into the mineral line, does go for the Raven Harass. Nice catch on one of the Stalkers. Up. Ooh, gets one. One Stalker goes down, Colossus arrives just in time. And with the help of the Colossus and with the battery, I don't really see Cure breaking through. And he tries to break in. Mine shot gets baited. And Zoun is holding. Zoun is holding on. Does lose 5 probes here at the 3rd location, though, and we have more reinforcements on the way. As over time, a second Colossus is coming. Yeah, Curie cannot break through. 3rd CC is on the way. Curie is transitioning. Building up into a 3rd. Tries to stem in. Emerald they tank well, but cannot get into the Colossus. Now we have 2. 2 Colossus have arrived. Now we can just shell away here at the mines, at the army. Hitting up all 3 mines, and Curie has to leave before he loses too much. You gotta get out of here. Stims away. A decent chunk of army can actually fit on there at once. It's crazy. Is this larger than the one on Site Delta? Sorry, not Site Delta, Persephone? I think it's the same. It's just we saw it utilized so we saw it utilized so rarely. They're all the same size. There you go. There you go. All the same size. But we get to experience the healing pad, Pappy. True, true. As Zoun does break out, Curie set up back at home. He's got his Vikings ready. We have how many? 6. Yeah, 6 Vikings with 2 Colossus. That's perfectly fine. Zoun rotates, and so far Curie's keeping up. Does keep up. But also big shout out to Avex in the chat. Bienvenidos, papi, bienvenidos. Avex. Anda mi mid, papi. But it's actually the map creator of Voidstorm. Creator of Voidstorm. So they poke in, catching at the turret. So far, in Cure, he's able to hold on. He's holding, he's defending. Now building up to 11 Vikings. Oh my god. We've got a lot of Vikings, Pappy. And now able to move in. Okay, that was 1 volley of Vikings, by the way. And now he's going to get the Colossus. Gets 1. Yeah, gets 1. Chasing the other as well. And GG. GG gets called. Zoun will lose the entire army. And Cure will take a 2-1 lead in the series. GG. GG, well played. Zoun, he was so committed, so dedicated there. And again, we were getting up to 13 Vikings towards the end. Zoun, he committed to the fight, and he would not win that. They would just found themselves committing to a fight that he could not win. And with that, he would lose everything. GG gets called, and Cure will claim a lead. We'll claim a lead in the series, and we'll see if Cure can claim the series itself 1 game away from claiming the best of 5. Let's go. Let us go. Is the RSL version of this modified from the current LE AVIX? Just said TLMC. AVIX can let us know. Let us know. the RSL version might just have like I didn't notice, but it might even have like RSL sponsors everywhere. Or it might have just gotten rid of the TLMC sponsors. Remember, the Team Liquid Map Contest versions have the logo of Monster Energy and Shopify all over the place. It might even just be removing those for the tournament edition. And over all the RSL maps. Proper ladder QA pass. There you go, there you go. But here we go. We're getting into our next game here. We're going to be loading into Necropolis as game number 4. Oh, as it looks like our players need a moment here. They need a moment. Winding it back, sorry, we kind of glossed over it, but Void Storm, it was quite intense, quite aggressive. We saw that Zoun committed to his own counterattack, but he committed and there was no way out of that, as he would lose all 3 Colossus. A heavy commitment to Vikings there from Cure. He was waiting for that fight, waiting for that commitment, and GG, well played. But our players are asking for a couple of minutes here, so we might just go on a short break. All the TLMC logos are gone. I added the logos mod, functionality, etc. Okay, there you go. There you go. Oh no, we're good. We're good to go. We're good to go. As we are loading into Necropolis. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Necropolis, we have the blue Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss representing onside down in the series. Can he bounce back and force the ace match? It is Zoun. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player, the red Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Let's go. Let us go. As we are going to be settling into game number 4. And again, we've had some interesting builds here out of Zoun. It's been all off of the basis of 3-gate blink, and a robo. From there, we've been rushing into Colossus, or rushing into Charge, or even rushing into earlier and committed blink play as well. So we've seen 3 different variations after that opener. We'll see if Zoun has something different up his sleeve, or more of the same, at least when it comes to 3-gate blink play. We shall see. Likewise, welcome to Necropolis. Necropolis is a bit of a more defensive map on 2 bases. We have the high ground here coming into the natural. We likewise have a high ground 3rd and 4th base. We have a low ground area here between the bases, which can be abused somewhat. But for the most part, I would say that the base layout here is relatively secure. We do see that the linear 3rd base is a little bit more accessible here when it comes to the entrance into the 3rd. But I'll be honest, I haven't really been able to cover too many games on Necropolis, right? And Necropolis is basically exclusive to RSL tournaments, and even then, you know, it's at the whim of whether it gets vetoed or not as well. So I haven't been able to delve too much into it. Oh, I remember this map. Yeah. Am I crazy? But this used to be like a proper full wall, right? With these rocks here. Yeah. This was submitted into not the last TLMC, but the TLMC before that. I remember going over this map with Oreo. There were a couple of maps that I got Oreo on for to maybe like delve a little bit deeper into like some of the issues or envision how some of the games would go. I remember. TLMC 21 submission. Yeah. I remember. At the time, I remember talking about ARAXs on this map. But ARAXs are dead, so... I remember discussing ARAXs and the tank position here behind this this terrain. And how brutal that would be, and the need to like clear up these rocks ahead of time. But I guess one of the solutions to that was the now like timed rocks here with the Zerg debris. True. But anyway, we're settling in. calming down, we're settling in. From here, it is going to be a more economic start here from Cure, going Rax Expand, single gas opener out of our Terran player. There's no crazy proxy or anything like that as we have seen previously. Cure likewise also does scout the nearby proxy location to make sure he's safe, and Cure does not go for an SCV scout, and he does not go for a Reaper scout either. Instead, reacted Marine. So very committed, very early Marine production out of Cure. With this can lead into Starport, into Medevac, into an early vanilla Marine drop. As we'll have an abundance of Marines early on. So we'll see if Cure moves out with Automines and the Marines as well. We'll see. Hallucination pokes in, Zoun confirms the 1-1-1, and confirms the Marine count as well. So Zoun does scout, does confirm. Back at home once again, going for the Twilight Council into Blink. And we'll keep an eye on that gateway count. So far, 2 gate Blink out of Zoun. We'll see if he does decide to cut some corners and be a little bit greedier this time. Oh, as we do force some friendly fire. Okay. Bit of friendly fire. Marines, they get softened up. There we go. 3rd gateway's on the way. So 3 gate Blink into the Robo. Once again, a relatively safe build here from Zoun. Opening up standard. I wouldn't count Araxes as just dead yet. I guess like we saw an Arax we saw an Arax between Scarlet and Innovation during Doyu Cup. We saw 1 Arax there, and we did see Oliveira do 1 Arax in the finals against Scarlet as well, with mixed success. very, very mixed. So Arax technically might not be dead, but it's like in a coma. It's like very much so in a coma. It's much more niche than it used to be. As we have a Widowmine drop into the natural. Oh, catching out a Stalker, not bad. Does catch a Stalker. Marines are left back at home. And the final Widowmine will not be saved. Oof. Yeah, not quite. Just keeping Zoun busy. Behind this with doubling down, going into Banshees. No cloak, just vanilla Banshees. As again, we're just settling into our game, just gaining map control, building up back at home, getting into eventually stim, securing our tanks as well. We have bunkers being thrown down, tank lines, just to make sure there's no Stalker aggression that can really catch Crew off guard. Just playing very, very safe coming into the mid game. So much more tame, much more passive start. Banshee pokes in, Observer does spot this. Zoun is fully aware, and Zoun is ready. Oh, and blinks in, the Banshee is going to fall. So some of our losses here, getting 2 probes for a Banshee, not quite worth it for Cure. Losing the Banshee, losing the Widowmine drop. Zoun getting up to 3 bases. Getting his gateways up and running. And sorry, something that I should point out here is that Zoun is taking a different approach. Every game so far that we've seen from Zoun, he has gone for faster Bay and faster Colossus production. This time it's the Bay after the gateway explosion. So much more Zealot heavy here. Much more Zealot heavy. Much more gateway centric. Still choosing to morph in all those warp gates, as opposed to Trigger's approach. Secure does move out. Observer does spot the move outs. Zoun is aware. He's here to slow this down. Oh. And doesn't quite get the medevac. Cure does pull away in time. And we'll see if Cure does attempt to push across the map. Still waiting for Stim. Stim is still on the way. Colossus production has begun for Zoun. Definitely definitely didn't spend the entire NA qualifier on the Korean server. I mean, we had some NA players. We had Trigger. It's all good. He did well. I was very impressed with his play. Very impressed. Oh. As Kira does break out, losing a medevac. Trying to siege up here outside of the natural, but Colossus have now arrived. Zoun has bought enough time. Getting on top of the tanks. No. Yeah, tanks are exposed. 1, 2, 3 tanks will go down. Oh, catching out 2 actually. Only 2. Kira does punish. He does barely maintain that tank at the same time as Zella harass across the map. Delaying reinforcements. Keeping Kira back. Oh. As once again the tank does survive. Tank within range of the Nexus. Nexus taking a lot of hits. Zoun building on more Zealots. Soon he can try to break out. And he's going for it. Yeah, he's going for the dive. Does rush through. Takes on the tank as well. And Zouni should hold on here. Cleans up the tank. Cleans up the bio. Yeah, just not enough left. Nice kiting here by Cure. Does pick up all the Zealots. Uh-oh. Yeah, Zealots go down. Stalkers are exposed. And Zoun overextends. Yeah, big overextension. He will lose everything. The Colossus go down the Stalkers as well. There's 1 Colossus left. Some heavy losses there for Zoun. Ay. Expensive losses for the Protoss. Does save the 4th base, does protect the economy. But those were expensive, losing 8 Stalkers, losing the Colossus. Kira still rallying. Now we have to calm down. Calm down, bad. And now we back off. Security backs off, he retreats. We're just building up, claiming our gases. 4th CC, 2nd starport for Mass Viking production. Armory for 2-2. The game will continue. The game will continue. Sounds like needs some time to stabilize. Curious going to be turtling up. Now, I haven't really seen too much late game on Necropolis. I'm not too familiar with how defendable some of these locations can be. Oh. So we have the high ground here. Aggressive rotations. They don't look too bad here for Zoun, for example, if he were to try to punish the 4-base setup. I do feel like the base is a little bit spread out, and yeah, looking at it a little bit closer, Cure trying to get a 5th base is going to be quite difficult. The northern 4th base here looks a little bit more natural. We'll see if he does try to expand away from the Protoss, which is going to be spread thin a little bit more, but we'll see if we can hold on to it. We shall see. Likewise, Zoun is now switching out of Colossus into Disruptors. Disruptors going to be on the way. Refining our composition. 2nd Forge, more bases, looking to max out. And again, I was curious to see if this style would still work well here in TVP, like this mass economy, mass gateway composition. I would say the game on the Old Sun Temple was a little bit different just because Cure was broken early on. And everything just kind of snowballed out of control. We'll see if Cure can have better luck or better success defending on 5 bases here. As the bases do seem a little bit more spread out. Meanwhile, of course, Zoun does have control of the Zelnaga towers, making it easier to scout, clearing up the map. Trigger's in Korea right now. Yeah, he is. But he's still NA, right? Like he's still. You say it right now. Trigger's been in Korea for like 2 years. It's been a while. He's been in Korea since before Clem won EWC. He was left behind, Pappy. They pulled a home alone. Like Clam, Astray, and Future, they packed their bags. They got onto the plane. They looked around. They're like, hold on, which trigger? Like, hold on. Who was in charge of packing trigger? Aye. Left him behind. Oh, Zoun does get into the main. Yeah, Zoun does get into the main base. The main army does poke forward. Never goes up. Does splits? Oh, okay. Splits against one, not the other. Yeah, Novas are connecting. Some brutal losses, but Zoun, he will be chased down. Yeah, catching the Colossus. Colossus does fall. Zealots in the main base are still wreaking havoc. No major pickups here, but distracting and keeping the army busy. Keeping reinforcements at bay. It does keep them at bay here as there's still 2 Zealots in the main. Cure does break out. It's, again, mainly a gateway army here. There's only 1 Disruptor and no Colossus. Just pure Zealot Stalker. Zealots take over the dive. EMPs do land. And nice EMPs, but there may not be enough DPS here for Cure. The Vikings, they do nothing. There we go. Vikings forced to land. Reinforcements, they come in from behind. They get on top of the Stalkers. Very nice collapse here from Cure. Yeah, an insane flank, and Zoun gets caught out. Aye. Losing the Disruptor, losing the Immortal, the Stalkers as well. Some rough losses for Zoun. We got 2 more Disruptors on the way. 2 more Disruptors. Jeez, that's a lot of weapons. Can Zoun hold? That's both Novas. Oh, yeah, that's both Novas. They were wasted. Novas don't quite connect. The base goes down. Zoun needs time. And we just drop in. We drop into the main base. Yeah, massive pickup here. Cure dives into the main, going for the tech, going for the production. Reinforces towards the 4th. Or the 5th. Again, a bit of an awkward engage here for both players. Disruptors, they come in. Never goes up. Oh, nice connection. Yeah, Novas are connecting. Decent focus firing there by Cure. Does focus on the Disruptors. Okay. Yeah, Cure, he trades. He trades. Does hold his own at the same time. We do see Zoun gets across the map. And Curry F2's back home. He's F2ing back home. He is racing back home to defend. Massive damage. We're getting messy. 13 SCVs. Curry stims all the way back home. Zoun regains map control. Zoun still has these northern bases. He still has an economy. Zoun can still do this. He can still do this. As he's building back up, Fusion Core finally on the way for Cure. Into more Liberators. And Cure now is stuck at home. Now he's stuck at home. Things are very chaotic for a moment there. And again, Zoun has some heavy losses. But Zoun held. Yeah, Zoun held on. Ooh, Nova doesn't quite connect. Zoun has to be careful. Oof. As he does land the Nova. Yeah, lands a Nova, going back into Colossus. Again, maintaining a decent economy here of 71. 71 probes. God, but the gateway reinforcements are insane. We'll end some EMPs. Planetary does help. Yeah, we're trying to hold on. Novas, they do connect once again. Some brutal connections here on Marauders. But we're out of Zealots. Oh, we've been here before. Yeah, Zoun is out of charge lots. Trying to warp in. Still some messy trades here from Zoun. Does he have enough? It's close. Yeah, it's getting very close. It's getting very, very close here. Warping in more Zealots. He wants that planetary. He wants to break through. Not quite able to, though. And Zoun has burned through his bank. He's burned through his entire bank doing this. He's got to build back up. Likewise, Cure, he has a fresh mining base, now claiming another expansion. Finds the reinforcing pylon. And now we have Liberator range on the horizon. More libs, Fusion Core is done. I'm getting a bit concerned here for Zoun. As Cure is growing larger. Getting another base. We have boomers, so time moves fast. True, true. Feels bad, man. Zoun blinks into the army. Yeah, massive EMPs. These Stalkers are a little bit too ambitious, and these are going to be heavy losses for Zoun. Yeah, messy trade. The Zealots, they do break through. Colossus, they do a lot of in the back line. But Zoun, he lost how many Stalkers? 16 Stalkers. Oh no. That was a patience playing, because what that was. Zoun blinked into the army, losing 16 Stalkers, a Colossus and Disruptor as well. Very expensive loss there for Zoun. Again, we don't really have much gas. We can't throw away our Stalkers like that. Zoun moves back in. I mean, at least there's no Vikings. Colossus, they can reign supreme. Yeah, down to one Viking. And Curie may just have to give up. Yeah, give up on the base. Has to pull away. We have a couple of reinforcement Viking coming in. Gets one. Yeah, gets one. Colossus may get another. It's still quite close. Zealots, they arrive just in time. The MVP Zealots, they've made it. Yeah, Zealots have arrived. The Colossus, they recall. One of them escapes. And that's 19 SCVs. 19 SCV kills. Curie's economy is crippled. Zoun escapes with one Colossus just barely. Ooh. Viking gets caught out. Oh, he wants it. He gets it. Curie snipes the Colossus. He's crazy. Oh my god. Colossus goes down, and Curie, he might not have an economy, but he has an army. He has an army. Keeps on pushing. Keeps traveling across. He has to break through the Zealots, and he is. Yeah, there just aren't enough charge ults here. He does break through. Down to 4 Stalkers. This space is forfeit. And we see Zoun is going back into Colossus production. Fun fact, Curie's going back into Viking production already. He's got more Vikings on the way, plus 3 air attack as well. Curie, he's ready for the Colossus. He's ready. As Zoun, who loses another expansion. Another base goes down. Oh, Curie bleeding out some reinforcements. It's 19 probe kills. And 19 workers go down. Curie still has a massive army to work with. Looking to move back in. Zoun, he has re-expanded here towards the left-hand side. He does have 2 relatively fresh bases. 2 bases up. Zoun is trying to hold on, but again, he's lost so much in the process here. His Stalkers, now no more Disruptors. Only 2 Colossus against 6 Vikings. Real EMP. Yeah, EMP lands. And the Colossus are under threat. The Zealots, they do arrive in time, though. And more Zealot Warpins. Curie being forced back. Oh, Zoun, we gotta be careful there. Again, Zoun, he keeps overextending here. Once we run out of Zealots, we have to get the hell out of here. Has to pull away. Does have to pull back. That's getting up to 3 Colossus. Meanwhile, Curie making 4 Vikings at a time. And at least while this is happening, Zoun is able to distract the main army and get these bases up, right? They're fully operational, fully mining. Zoun is barely keeping up with those bases. Viking reinforcements have arrived. Wait, did we lose the fusion core? Wait, what? No, it's here. Ah, Curie. I was curious earlier because he has not started limited range yet, but it looks like he might not have noticed, so he's rebuilding his fusion core. Still no lib range. Still no liberators as a result. Okay, we're getting messy. Getting messy. Really, he just wants Yamato and lib range at the same time. True. The timing. as the game is slowing down. I do want to say this benefits Cure a little bit more, just because, again, he has built up a surprisingly high base count here. Cure's the first to max out. Yo, we're getting the medevac upgrade. Let's go. Funnily enough, he makes the second fusion core, but he used the first one to make the upgrade. God damn it. That's the Cure. As Cure finally punches his face. And cashing out 10 probes at the same time. Zoun moves in. Oh, EMPs land. EMPs punish. Cure back into the main. So let's force a recall. Recall's now on cooldown. Nervous. Oh my god, massive connections. Cure wasn't looking. Takes Nervous to the face at the same time, though he does catch 2 Colossus. Yeah, 2 Colossus go down. Did I say 2? He's gonna get all 3. Yeah, massive pickups. He may take Nervous to the face, but he will pick off all 3 Colossus. Massive pickups. Lands the Vikings. Cure, he will take this fight. No splash damage. Yeah, no splash damage here, but we have more zealots coming in. Oh my god, there are so many zealots. So many zealots. Are there enough? There may be. Yeah, there may just be here as we run out of zealots, so stalkers are now exposed. They're going to start going down. At the same time, Cure dropping across the map, distracting Zoun. And Cure does take it. Cure does take the fight. It barely had enough to break through. Again, some rough losses here, and with that, Cure's done it. Cure's done it. GG gets called. Cure overwhelms, and Cure, he will claim the series 3-1, qualifying for this season of RSL. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations, Cure. He will claim the series. He will claim the series. He will advance on. Again, a very intense back and forth here between Zoun and Cure. And again, especially this game as well, it was 25 minutes, but it was almost non-stop action. There were a couple of lulls every now and then whenever players kind of reset their armies. That is true. There were a couple of moments where both players backed off and licked their wounds. But for the most part, a lot of aggression, a lot of intensity here. Cure, he was able to get away with a higher base count, of course, building up his own 4th, 5th, and even 6th expansion towards the end to be able to recover. Meanwhile, Zoun, he was unable to really harass too much. Like, there were a couple of moments where he was able to get away with like War Prism harass or Zealot roundbys, but they were few and far between. Instead, Zoun was fixating more on the main fights, and he was struggling in that sense. That's where Cure was at his best, where he was able to punish stalkers, punish the charge lots, catch out the Colossus as well. And again, it was still very intense back and forth and very close at multiple times. Like, very often we saw the armies reset on both sides, and barely Cure was able to survive, able to build up his bases and punish the economy of Zoun. GG. GG, well played. And with that, congratulations, Cure. He will advance on, and now we have our 2 confirmed players here for the RSL through the Americas qualifier. Up first was Bjorn. Bjorn took down Trigger 3-1 to qualify for the RSL. Meanwhile, Cure takes down Zoun 3-1 as well, also to qualify for the RSL. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Bjorn and Cure for making it through. A YOLO blink if I've ever seen one. Yeah, there was that one moment. Patience, yes. Patience the player, not that he was patient, if you will. But a patience blink is when you see an army and you blink into it. The importance is that it's not like you're face checking, you're blindly blinking into something. It's when you see that there's something ahead of you and you decide to blink in anyway. Like, that's a patience blink, baby. That's ay. Crazy. GG. Could actually have gotten double upgrades. It's fine. Especially if there are tanks nearby, then it's really a patience blink. True. I miss my patience, baby. I miss him dearly. But GG, well played with that. Congratulations here to Bjorn and Cure for making it through into the RSL main event. My condolences to Trigger, to Zoun, Percival, who no-showed earlier, and to some of the other players here as well. Of course, they'll have another chance tomorrow in the Korean qualifier. Remember, today is the Americas qualifier, tomorrow is the Korean qualifier, the day after is the European qualifier. So we have one qualifier for every server, and remember, these are server qualifiers. They are not region locked, they're not region based, so you can play in whichever one you want. as long as you're awake in time. And of course, you will have to play with maybe some server disadvantages, depending on which qualifier you play in. But we'll have a chance. We'll have a chance. So best of luck. Best of luck to all the other competitors here in the future qualifiers. Bearing in mind as well that there's also going to be a Patreon vote as well. So exclamation mark RSL in the chat. Exclamation mark RSL, as that is a link to the Patreon page where you can become a patron and you'll have the power to vote on your favorite player to be a part of this season of RSL. There's Patreon voting for the player and Patreon voting for the map pool as well. So there's a couple of things that you do have a little bit of sway when it comes to your own vote, of course, when it comes to some of the direction of the event. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We do appreciate it. We appreciate it. I see in the chat, are there more games tonight? Not right now. Very quickly here, bam, you can see our weekly schedule. This is last week's schedule, my apologies. But our next broadcast should be in around 7 hours. In 7 hours time, we're going to be live with the Wardy TV Monday. Wardy TV Monday number 93 is going to be in 7 hours. So until then, I'm going to be able to get some food, get some rest, hopefully freshen up and get ready for a night of StarCraft. Remember, tomorrow is going to be the Korean qualifier, and the day after that we do have Pegasus Cup and Kung Fu Cup as well. Of course, a big shout to Stegosaurus. I don't know if you saw him, but Stegosaurus is in the chat. He was adminning today. He was able to step in to help out with RSL and to admin this tournament. And again, Stegosaurus, he's also one of the big names behind the Pegasaur Cup. That's why it's a Pegasaur, not a pig cup, as a Stegosaurus is the dinosaur aspect of that opening tournament, so making sure that everything runs as smoothly as possible and does host the event. So a big shout to Stegosaurus for all that you do for the scene. And again, you'll see more of Stegosaurus in a couple of days with the Pegasaur Open Cup as well. So Stego. See him in the chat. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We do appreciate it. Just catching up in the YouTube chat as well. Just catching up. Trigger actually got better from living in Korea, IMO. I mean, of course. He has since improved, of course. Been in Korea for a long time. It's catching up. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support. Again, later on tonight, we have Wardy TV Monday. Tomorrow, we do have the Korean qualifier as well. Otherwise, take care. Take care of yourselves. If you want to support us or if you want to watch some of the VODs, if you maybe missed out on Doyo Cup, you heard me make a reference earlier, but we were casting a big event in China featuring Scarlet, Innovation, TY, Neeb, and many others. If you missed it, YouTube is the place to be. YouTube is the place to be. Exclamation mark socials in the chat, as all of our VODs are over on our YouTube channel. Otherwise, you can also support us via our own Patreon. There's the RSL Patreon, there's our own Patreon as well. Our Patreon does fund our weekly open tournaments on a regular basis, Sparkling Tuna Cups, and also our amateur events as well. So you can support us if you wish via the Patreon. Otherwise, follow us on all the socials, and we'll see you guys later on tonight or tomorrow for some more StarCraft. Otherwise, thanks for watching. See you next time. Ciao, bye, ciao. Hasta luego.